April 26, 2018 was a sad day indeed. That was the day the servers for Paragon was shut down. Now, in my opinion, the game had been dead since 2017. I mean, it all started with the abandonment of the legacy map for Monolith, and it was a slippery slope from that point on. I didn't hate Monolith, but it was painfully obvious that the development team couldn't decide on where to take the game. The final nail in the coffin is when the visionary for Paragon, Steve Superville, departed from Epic Games and Fortnite's BR mode took off. That left a lot of fans of Paragon like myself asked out. MOBAs were the hottest thing in gaming at the time, and now we were without a home. We were Paragon refugees. Some of the refugees tried to fill that void with other MOBAs like Smite, but a lot of us just moved on. There was a small group of players who banded together after Epic released Paragon's assets to the wild, but no fan-created studio had anything to show for their efforts years after the Paragon servers had shut down. That is, until today. Right now on Steam, you can play a remake of Paragon called Predecessor. It's in early access and is developed by Omega Studios. Now, I thought I had moved on from the Paragon days, but the other day I seen a video from Omega drop that was a dev diary of them sharing where the game was, and I was impressed. The game looks serviceable, and I know the team working on it is passionate because I recognized the dude in the video. I was like, oh, I've met some of these people. They were prominent members in the Paragon community. From seeing that, I knew at bare minimum, this was coming from a place of love. Plus, my audience over at twitch.tv/theblack-Hokage, follow me, wink, wink, wink. They kept asking me if I would stream this game, so fuck it.
Yeah, let's do it.
Predecessor is out right now on Steam in early access beta. There is a $10 fee to get in early, so please be aware that did upset some people. I personally don't care. They're an indie studio and they needed help keeping the lights on. Plus, they prefer people who really want to help shape the gameplay with feedback, so it is what it is. Now, you do get some original skins in exchange for buying in early if that type of stuff does matter to you. Also, if paying for early access bothers you, know the game will eventually be free to play for everyone. They also have plans for a console release too, and as a proof of concept, you can actually play on PC with a
Controller.
Paragon is the foundation, but please understand Predecessor is not Paragon. Omega has made changes to the formula that they believe will help foster better gameplay experiences and a healthier community. The most obvious change is the card system Paragon used is now scrapped. Instead, they opted for a more traditional MOBA item store. I like the card system in Paragon as it made the game unique, but the problem was how they distributed the cards and the lack of education on building proper decks. Sometimes it just felt like it was too difficult for new players. When you make a multiplayer strategy game where only certain players have high-level items as well, it creates an imbalance. In Predecessor, if you fuck up your build, then that's your fault, which is also the name of another failed Paragon remake. Predecessor releasing shortly after the demise of Fault? Coincidence? I think not.
What the fuck are you talking about?
Everyone is on an even playing field with the item store, so this is a welcome change. It's also nice that they include the auto buy feature in the game, seeing as most players won't know what to build at launch. I will say I believe the artwork in the shop could be better. It looks a little cheap, but that's not a priority. Maybe something that can be addressed way down the line. And also be aware that a lot of new players are on this game. There's a lot of people that heard about Paragon, but they never got a chance to play it before it shut down. So please be nice to people, because I'm not gonna lie, there's a lot of ass players on the server, and you don't run into anything in between. You either run into like super ass players or you run into 5 stacks, so please be aware you're gonna be frustrated playing this game. Predecessor in early access form launched with 20 playable heroes, with plans for more heroes to drop during early access. Those playable heroes at launch include Crunch, Decker,
Richter,
Grux, Steel, Sparrow, Sevarog, Rampage, Narbash, Muriel, Murdoch, Lieutenant Bellica, Chimera, Kalari, Hauser, Gideon, Gadget, The Fae, Fang Mao, and Drongo. Characters move and feel like Paragon. That's what I love the most. This doesn't feel like some janky knockoff. Movements are tight and concise. I'd imagine the creator Steve Superville signing on as an advisor to Omega Studios has a lot to do with that. Adjustments have been made to some of the characters' kits. They don't play exactly like Paragon, so make sure to read the character's abilities before use if you're coming from the old game. Also be prepared to adjust to the map. Predecessor features an original map, but it's standard lane stuff in MOBA. If you played a MOBA before, you'll adjust just fine. You just have to learn where the buffs spawn. Omega made some quality of life changes to the gameplay that I really like as well. Everyone spawns in with an Omni Potion, a ward, and the ability to blink or teleport. So there's no excuse why you didn't heal. There's no excuse why you didn't see that jungler ganking your ass. And there's no excuse why you couldn't escape that fight. You have the tools at spawn. To balance things out, blink and ward both have long cooldowns, so you better use them wisely.
You
got it, dude.
There's other little quality of life changes like the option to let your teammates know what role you prefer to play. The only problem with that is it holds no weight. They're just suggestions. Why implement that feature then let people do whatever they want? The good news is that they got the basics right. With my small sample size, I've had zero issues with the servers, and finding the game wasn't hard either. Queue times never lasted more than a minute, which shocked me. The games run great, plus I have no issues with the party system, so I was able to get into games with friends, and they've already revealed they have plans for crossplay with the console version. I'd imagine that's why you have to add your friends via a unique friend code each account has. But the thing that's impressed me the most with Predecessor is they've revealed they're working on a new hero. That has been my biggest critique of all of these remakes. You can't remake a game that failed. I mean, it failed. You have to make it better. And one aspect of that is rolling out new content. They've already revealed in their dev diary that they're working on a new hero named Huntress. They claim to have been testing her internally for some time and they're feeling confident. This is great for a couple of reasons if you dig deeper. She looks damn near ready from the footage already, so that says to me that they have other heroes they're working on as well. But there's one more thing I don't think most people caught. In that dev diary, what he said was,
Huntress is our first range carry, who's been searching far and wide for counters.
all right, let's put our tinfoil hats on here. Now, I could be digging a little bit deep here, but it sounds like lore is coming to the game as well. Something sorely missing in the original Paragon. That little attention to detail might not matter to you. Shit, it don't matter to me either, but I know it does matter to someone. A lot of people, actually. It's content, and it helps people feel closer to the world and to the characters. A great example of this is Apex Legends. It's very lore driven. Respawn doesn't give you a ton when they show off a new character, but just enough to let people's imagination run. I'm not saying Predecessor will feature it, but I am saying I did find that statement interesting, and I wouldn't rule it out as possible content in the future. So there's my little preview and my first impressions of Predecessor. I think it's cool, and it's out now on Steam for $10. Am I saying this is gonna be a wild success? No, but first impressions, it's not bad. It's not bad. I'm actually really curious to see how the gaming community is gonna take to this game. MOBAs are not as hot as they once were, so I feel like Omega Studios is fighting an uphill battle. It doesn't help that another Paragon remake called Paragon the Overprime is dropping on December 5th. That could potentially confuse consumers and further fragment an already struggling community. Let me know if you guys want to see a video on the Overprime game in the comment section below. Currently, it has mixed reviews on Steam, while Predecessor has very positive reviews at the time of this recording. The battle for Paragon's refugees is heating up, baby. Now heat up that like button and leave a comment in the comment section below about your thoughts on Predecessor. Have you played it? Do you plan on playing it? Let's talk about it.